Las Vegas hotel casino history, Moulin Rouge. In 1954, 3 white men were the primary investors in the Moulin Rouge. Champion boxer Joe Louis was given 2% ownership and was the official host. The location, 900 West Bonanza, was on the boundary of the original West Side area, by then an almost completely African-American residential and commercial area. The hotel casino was named after the Paris nightclub Moulin Rouge, which opened in 1889. The original building was destroyed by fire in 1915. The Moulin Rouge in Paris is best known for being the birthplace of the modern form of the can-can dance. On March 29, 1954, the Las Vegas Board of Commissioners voted 4-1 to give a zone variance so that the Moulin Rouge could be built. Betty Willis, who designed the Welcome to Las Vegas sign, also designed the Moulin Rouge sign. She meticulously drew the sign design by hand, ensuring that it captured the elegance and allure of the famed Parisian cabaret. Her ability to blend artistry with functionality set her apart in the industry.
I did the Moulin Rouge letters and the sign out front, and I went to the library and looked up everything French I could. That's how I came by that letter style.
That's her handwriting. So this is before the age of computer-generated scripts and fonts. This is actually her own script to try and write in this Parisian style.
So the Moulin Rouge is one of those places that became the first integrated hotel casino in Las Vegas, one that could rival any of those on the Las Vegas Strip. But the Moulin Rouge takes it a step higher in elegance, the entertainment, in the food, in all categories. It is owned by 3 white men, businessmen. So it is not this effort to bring integration to Las Vegas. That was not their primary goal. Their primary goal was to earn money, to make money. And they knew that African Americans at that time were well employed and could afford the entertainment that they were missing on the Las Vegas Strip. Because as you know, at that time, African Americans could not go into the dunes, the sands, the Desert Inn, and all of those wonderful places on the Las Vegas Strip. They could go into the back doors, they could clean the rooms there, or they could entertain on the stages.
Former heavyweight boxing champion Joe Louis arrived to serve as host, and Clarence Robinson, who had staged shows at the original Moulin Rouge in Paris, was engaged to put together the floor show and serve as entertainment director.
Recruiting the legendary Harlem Renaissance-era choreographer Clarence Robinson, the nightly shows quickly became the talk of the town. His productions of the Tropican-Can and the Watusi not only brought an energy and flavor to the Vegas stage that the city had never seen before, it would also go on to inspire a hit song and a national teenage dance craze in the 1960s.
Watusi!
Bob Bailey was the master of ceremonies at the Moulin Rouge in the 1950s. His wife Anna, one of the club's dancers. The Moulin Rouge made Las Vegas history.
Because it was the only place where people of various cultures could congregate.
It was the only racially integrated hotel in the valley, and it played host to the stars.
My dad was a singer, and he sang with Count Basie, and my mother was a dancer. And in 1955, they came here to open the Moulin Rouge on Bonanza. And that's how they ended up coming here and just never left.
Now, Anna Bailey was one of the lead dancers at the Moulin Rouge's Tropican-Can Revue. What brought you to Las Vegas?
Well, I was working up in Buffalo, New York, and Pearl Bailey was on the show, or I was on the show with Pearl Bailey. And keeps saying, if you're going to stay in show business, you have to go to Las Vegas. So it was there that we found out that we were getting ready to go to Las Vegas, and we were booked. And we were ecstatic. We were just so excited. And about 20 of us girls came out here, and there was all the photographers who were waiting for us at the airport.
The shows featured an all-black cast, hand-picked and imported from all over North America.
I think Clarence Robinson, I think he found us.
and got us to go on the show with him. And after that, we worked with him constantly. And we got the call that we're going to Las Vegas, and we were really ecstatic.
I was dancing in Toronto, and Joe Louis was going to be the host at the Moulin Rouge, and so he asked me if I'd like to work there and told me that when it opened, he would let me know. And that's what he did. Clarence was from New York, and the girls that came from New York and he were on the same plane, and that very same plane stopped in Chicago and picked the Chicago girls up. So we were all on the same plane.
When we first got here, I think they just had cars or taxis for us. I can't remember which one they had it. So we're passing by the Strip, and we're getting excited because we're seeing all the lights. And then it kept on going, and we started looking at each other. And then we always heard that story about across the railroad tracks. Then we kind of slumped down in our seats. We just got sick. But then we turned the corner.
Well, it was exciting. It looked huge. I mean, years later when I looked at it, it seemed so small.
It was like a half a block long. It was just absolutely beautiful. It was all lit up. It was really just lovely. It was really wonderful.
The 7-page spread in the Review Journal described the spectacular opening on May 24th, 1955.
Tell us about opening night at the Moulin Rouge Hotel. What was that like?
Everybody was there. Almost all of Hollywood was there. Almost all the Strip was there. All the showgirls from the Strip came over, missed that part of their show to catch our show. It was a hit from just from the beginning because Clarence Robinson was the choreographer, and our music was just beautiful. The tempo was way up like this, and we were just really so happy to be here in Vegas and dancing, and just to see all the stars out there. Like Joe Adams, I don't know if everybody might be too young to him, but he had a radio show from coast to coast, and to see Joe Louis sitting on the ringside, and it was just a fabulous evening.
The resort became well known for its third show, a 2:15 performance involving entertainers who were working on the Strip. For the relatively short period that it was opened in 1955, the Moulin Rouge was regarded by some the best entertainment spot in Las Vegas. The early days were memorable and drew racially mixed crowds that packed the casino to mingle late at night and to try to spot celebrities.
The Moulin Rouge was different. It was high-end. It was Academy Awards. It was Grammys all wrapped up in one. Well, my grandparents were at that opening. I was 6 or 7 years old, and I remember everybody getting all dressed to kill.
The Moulin Rouge was a very big deal in the community. It was the first large hotel away from the Strip, and I can recall the excitement in West Las Vegas regarding the Moulin Rouge being built and what it was going to do for the West Las Vegas community in terms of jobs and what it would bring to the community. So it was a very big deal at the time that it was built.
I was about 10 years old, and it was a big to-do. The fact that it was open to especially West Side residents, but it was a big deal. We were proud of it. I was.
Life magazine came to town to do a cover story on the explosion of Las Vegas casinos, and the Moulin Rouge made the cover in June 1955.
Is getting national attention, the cover of Life magazine. And today, that seems less significant than it was then. That was of incredible significance in 1955.
And to me, that was the beginning of the end of the Moulin Rouge, because the whole world now got to see and know about this property. There's some serious mob stuff going on, there's competition, these other properties on the Strip that probably cost more money to build, to not get the cover. And then when you read the article, they was like, oh, the Riviera was nice, It was a little lackluster at the pool, da-da-da-da. But when he spoke about the Moulin Rouge, they was like, the excitement was bananas. The show was crazy.
Can you describe just the look and the feel of Las
Well,
Vegas
I felt
during
like I
this
was in Paris because we had the gym doms out there with their uniforms on, and the dressing rooms had showers in them, and we had the wardrobe mistresses in them, and it was just beautiful, and just to look out in the showroom and to see so many people, it was just jam-packed every single night, and I just don't know, I just can't realize today how the place closed. I just can't understand it.
But the Moulin Rouge's glory days were numbered. The partners clashed over managing the hotel casino and paying its past due building costs and other liabilities. The resort closed months later in October of 1955, probably for a variety of reasons. Most observers report that it was badly managed and undercapitalized. In the face of constant civil suits for payment for goods and services, attempts were made to incorporate the multitude of small investors, to no avail. Other observers point to strong opposition from strip hotel owners afraid of its success and the implications for their own racially exclusive showrooms. Some have said, for example, that strip establishments rearranged their shifts so that employees and performers were unable to attend the third show.
One of the reasons that there is a controversy still today about why the Moulin Rouge went out of business so rapidly. So, yes, documentation has been found that some of the subcontractors weren't paid. But there was also a problem at the Royal Nevada and at the Dunes. But the fellow casinos on the Strip bailed them out. The Moulin Rouge was not offered that kind of bailout. So that's why it had to go under. And the Moulin Rouge provided a lot of competition to those hotels on the Las Vegas Strip.
In those last couple of months, it put on a show at 2:30 in the morning. And that show began to pull some of those entertainers and high rollers from the Las Vegas Strip. We have evidence that some of the showgirls were told that they could not leave the Strip to go to the Moulin Rouge or that they would lose their jobs. So we know how keen the competition was.
Now, as you heard, the Moulin Rouge closed its doors within 6 months. Miss Bailey, what was your reaction to that when you heard that the hotel was closing where you worked?
We were really in shock. I mean, we came to work the next day and the padlocks were on the door. That's how we found out that the place was closed. But I think that we were taking so much because we did 3 shows a day. At 8 o'clock, a 12 o'clock, and a 2:30 show. So that means at the 2:30 show, we emptied out the Strip because they all came over to catch our show on the West Side. And I just think if that had kept on going, I don't know how it would have been built up so much because they were getting ready to open up the Mardi Gras, which was going to be a mall there, and so much things were getting ready to, building more buildings, and it was an exciting time. But I think that I don't know whether we had any mafia here or anything like that. We hear rumors, But I think they did a lot to close us up. I really do. That's in my heart. I feel that way, Because how can you close up with standing room outside all the way around the building every single day? And then when they start leaving the Strip and coming over, I think that's what really kind of killed it.
The bankruptcy was granted in March 1956. A new owner, Leo Fry, took over and reopened it in 1957, but closed it down again in 1960. As part of a national effort to achieve civil rights for African Americans, the local affiliate of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People and other local groups planned action to break down the color barrier in Las Vegas hotels and casinos. Mrs. Libertha Johnson, then herself a leader of NAACP, recalls that to head off a planned demonstration march, numerous hotel owners and city and state officials, including Governor Grant Sawyer, met at the Moulin Rouge with African-American leaders headed by NAACP President Dr. James McMillan. As Mrs. Johnson recalls the crucial meeting of March 26, 1960, it was mediated by Las Vegas Sun publisher Hank Greenspun. The meeting concluded with the abrupt agreement of most Las Vegas hotel owners to end the policy of denying admittance and accommodations to African Americans. The protest march scheduled for that evening was canceled. This is known as the Moulin Rouge Agreement. Over the years, the Moulin Rouge was used as public housing and a souvenir store. Sarah Ann Knight Preddy, who was the first black woman to hold a Nevada gaming license, leased the Moulin Rouge for 4 years before buying it from Leo Fry for $2 million in 1989.
Today, Sarah Ann Preddy and her family own the hotel.
Yes, this is where the museum's going to be. We have a lot of history in here of West Las Vegas, and not just blacks, everybody who participated in the Moulin Rouge being a historic landmark.
The Moulin Rouge Preservation Association got a $250,000 grant from the state for the museum. But work has been on hold while the hotel owners try to get financing to renovate the entire hotel, not just the area set aside for the museum.
Well, I'm hoping that we'll get it to where we want it by next year.
Inside, changes would spruce up original features.
Come out, and this is going to be the casino, and this is where the original casino was. This is the original bar.
Chandeliers and colorful murals on the wall are originals too. The pool area is still here.
It was absolutely gorgeous during that time.
And Preddy hopes stars will shine again in the hotel's showroom.
That's Gregory Hines and his brother. That's when they did their performance here. And it was such a beautiful place. They only had about 5 other hotels on the Strip. And this hotel was equivalent to those hotels as far as being beautiful and built nice. And they were all about on the same level.
The Preddys say if they can't get financing soon to start renovations, the Moulin Rouge may have to close once again.
Well, I really enjoyed doing it. And you know, I get tired sometimes, but I live and breathe the Moulin Rouge.
If she has her way, celebrating the hotel's heritage will give it a new beginning.
And we think that that this will be something that the whole city of Las Vegas will be proud of.
In 1992, the Moulin Rouge was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. Knight Preddy owned it until 1997 when Canadian developer Bart Mabey bought it. In 2003, 5 days past the 40th anniversary of the opening, flames destroyed the venerable Bonanza Road structure, including treasures such as its trademark Dancing Girl murals and chandeliers stored behind carpeting and other renovation materials inside the building. But before the embers cooled, the building's owner, Bart Mabey, vowed that the Moulin Rouge will rise from the ashes. "We will rebuild it, and we will rebuild it right," Mabey said. "We are fortunate that the historic sign in front of the place, the feature that I really like, has survived." Mabey said plans had been to open a casino, restaurant, 350-room hotel, and museum at the site at the end of the year, but that it will be delayed at least to the end of 2004 or maybe later. On May 5, 2009, the Moulin Rouge failed to sell at a foreclosure sale, and the next day, the Moulin Rouge was on fire for the 3rd time in 4 years.
Well, Denise, it's history up in flames today, and now that 53-year-old building coming crashing to the ground. Within just the last few minutes, this earth mover has been brought in by the property owners to completely demolish this portion of the hotel, bring it completely to the ground. The entire 2nd floor has collapsed because of how just widespread the flames have been. Now the iconic Moulin Rouge burning once again today. That 4-alarm fire quickly escalated today just before noon. Crews had to use high-flying ladder trucks just to spray water on the flames. Because the Moulin Rouge was abandoned, high black gates made it difficult for crews to get into the ground.
But once again, we're continuing to follow this team coverage of breaking news that happened just a little bit earlier this morning, right around 11 o'clock. And believe it or not, firefighters still out here trying to put out these hot spots. But this hotel that was opened back in 1955 lost forever. Reporting live in Sky Witness 8 right over the Moulin Rouge Hotel, I'm Ken Smith, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Today's fire has probably removed any hope of ever seeing the Moulin Rouge rise from the ashes. The complex has been declared a hazard and had been closed to the public for years. Today's fire is probably the final blow. The Moulin Rouge will live on now only through pictures and those iconic signs that were saved and moved to the neon boneyard. You know, it was really hard, Dave and Denise, you were here with me, to sit and watch it burn today. But it's also been very hard to watch it decline and you know, go through what it's gone through over the years too. So I mean, we're not putting it out of its misery, but still it was tough to watch.
The large cursive neon sign was moved a few days prior to the 2009 fire to the Neon Museum for safekeeping. In 2010, the Las Vegas Preservation Commission approved permits to demolish the remaining structure, citing concerns by the city about the safety of the structure. The tower was taken down on July 22, 2010.
Plans are in the works for something amazing to rise from the ashes in the form of a new Moulin Rouge hotel and casino. 13 Action News reporter Marissa Kinniston tells us how developers hope it'll revitalize the West Side.
The Moulin Rouge Hotel is just rubble now, but the $500 million project will change that. The original Moulin Rouge Hotel was the first desegregated hotel and casino and was popular with many African-American entertainers. Developers want to pay tribute to the history of the hotel while still making it fresh and modern. They hope the hotel can have a positive change in the West Side.
This project will bring jobs, new vision, integrity, and a sense of pride to this community. For so long, this community was cut off from the rest of Las Vegas, so it is our vision and our goal to make this new property their new property.
I'm standing in what used to be the main entrance of the old Moulin Rouge Hotel and Casino. Old tiles like this will soon be replaced with new ones. Johnson tells me he hopes to have construction started in about a year. Reporting on the West Side, Marissa Kinniston, 13 Action News.
Clark County has been approved to buy the Moulin Rouge property for more than $6 million. It says it will spend around $2 million to demolish what is currently on that property and plans to build its family service department there. You may remember earlier this month, Chopper 13 fast and first over a fire on that property. Fire crews have blamed a number of fires there in the past on squatters.
New at 5, more drama tonight involving the historic Moulin Rouge casino site near Bonanza and Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Tonight, as the community fights to preserve its legacy, the Clark County Commission has decided not to buy the property where the Moulin Rouge once stood.
13 Action News reporter David Schumann tells us what could happen next in the long battle for control.
Sure would be nice to see a casino hotel here.
It won't ever be what it once was, but the door is now open for a new casino to be built where the former Moulin Rouge once stood.
We had the highest bid of $8 million, and so we're looking to move forward on the property.
With the Clark County Commissioners declining Tuesday to purchase the land, Scott Johnson says his casino group is ready to build on the historic site.
We're bringing jobs to the community, jobs in the construction phase of it, and actual jobs once the casino gets built.
Well, there could finally be a buyer for the old Moulin Rouge property just north of downtown.
The company that operates bars all over town has thrown its name in to take it over, bringing new attention to the site that's seen its fair share of failed redevelopment attempts. 8 News Now reporter Shakayla Alvarenga explains why some say this one could work.
Well, Brian and Denise, Nevada Restaurant Services operates Dottie's, an already successful chain right here in Nevada. And many people believe they are a strong potential buyer for this site.
The Moulin Rouge has been gutted by fires in recent years. Hopeful buyers made promises they couldn't keep.
No time to dwell on the past. You know, there's a recession that we came out of.
Councilman Cedric Creer remains optimistic that Nevada Restaurant Services will buy the property.
It's a very well-established company. If I had to guess, they're probably very well funded, which means that they could build a project if they so chose to do it.
And the council will also have the ability to waive almost $2 million in civil penalties imposed on the land. Reporting live at City Hall tonight, Shakayla Alvarenga, 8 News Now.
On September 17, 2020, the Moulin Rouge sign was lit again at the Neon Museum.
We are the guardians of this sign. It's the only thing really that's left of the Moulin Rouge. It's a history that we tell, our interpreters tell, at this museum every single day, 7 days a week. Since 2012, more than 1.2 million people have heard the story of the Moulin Rouge and the ending of segregation in southern Nevada.
The lighting of the Moulin Rouge sign is personal. It was great when we lit the Hard Rock sign. It was great when we lit the La Concha sign. It all has significant meaning to the city of Las Vegas. But this has a very special meaning for us and for those that I represent in my community. The Moulin Rouge is more than just an iconic symbol. It's more than just a sign that you see. It's our soul.
Well, the site of the historic Moulin Rouge has new owners this evening. Thanks for...
On Friday, that transaction closed, and now we have new owners of the Moulin Rouge property.
The site sold for $3.1 million to a newly created Nevada-based company backed by an Australian investment firm. An attorney representing the buyer spoke at a recent city council meeting.
My client's very excited about doing a casino project on the property, has already engaged with some community members, understands the history of the site, and my client looks forward to working with the city on planning a great project for that site.
While many residents have expressed concern over a foreign investor who may not fully understand or appreciate the history of the property, former Assemblyman Harvey Munford says that he spoke to the new team and so far believes that they are committed to involving the community in future plans.
They've reached out to me, and that gives them confidence that they're gonna, concerned about the future of this community.
City Councilman Cedric Creer says he's also spoken to the new owners and is confident they're committed to understanding the history of the property and delivering on that. And he and others are prepared to hold them accountable for the sake of the neighborhood.
I would have loved for someone that I knew personally to come in and purchase it, but that didn't happen. So we're going to work with the buyers that we have and operators, and we're going to make it work.
At 11, there may be a new future for the site of the historic Moulin Rouge Hotel and Casino on the west side of town. Tripto Business Solutions, a group involved in the all-net arena project headed by former basketball player Jackie Robinson, say they do plan to invest into the property.
What would have happened if the property had never closed in the first place? What would the neighborhood look like? I have been working on the Moulin Rouge project most of my adult life. I really feel in my heart the restoration of this property will be the beginning of the restoration of race relations in America. It's just that huge and it's just that serious. As a community group, we have formed an organization whose sole purpose is to revitalize this community, which includes the Moulin Rouge. We've had the Riviera, the Desert Inn, the Flamingo, the Tropicana. We can only guess that this neighborhood would have flourished the same as the others had the property not closed. So we believe that there was an economic injustice as well as a racial injustice that happened to a people, and not just a little part of town, but the whole people suffered behind that.
Support to rebuild the Moulin Rouge in historic West Las Vegas. For decades, the property at the corner of Bonanza and MLK has been plagued with problems. Bankruptcy, fires, demolition. And now, 61 years after it first opened, community leaders are vowing to return the Moulin Rouge to its former glory.
Hear about it in the news. There's fires and there's these new developers that are coming in and trying to revitalize it and bring it back to life. Where do things stand now with the hotel?
Well, there is still a lawsuit underway, and it seems that the Moulin Rouge has been battered with lawsuits since the very beginning. But to Anna, you thought it suddenly closed because you came to work and it was locked. But there were some people who knew it was going to close.
Oh.
And so they talk about how they had to carefully sneak the money out because they knew the doors were going to be closed. And the other establishment who wanted it closed, they told the vendors that if they sold to the Moulin Rouge, they wouldn't buy from them. So that was immediately they started those activities. But right now, today, it's still in a lawsuit, which needs to be settled. The person who bought it, there's another set of developers who believe they should have had the right to buy it.
Oh.
We even as a community came together to attempt to purchase it ourselves, and we got $1 million check bounced to us. I won't even tell you about that part. When somebody bounces $1 million check to you, that's pretty good history, right? Yeah. So until that lawsuit is settled, it's probably not a good idea to really discuss what's going on with it, but we would like to see the community be involved in what goes on in the development, no matter who finally gets the right to do it.
Ms. Bailey, what would you like to see in place of the site right now?
Oh, that's a good question. I like to see something go in there that'll open up right away, right soon, because it just tears my heart out to see the pictures, because I haven't seen the Moulin Rouge. I haven't been around that area for a while, and to see it, in that shape, it looks so bad. I would like to see, naturally, I would love to see a club to open up again, because I like to see, it will bring more industry over to that area. And, but there's so many things, the location is perfect. So no matter what you put on there, I think it'll work. And anything that'll do to lift that side of town up there, because there's nothing over there. I know it's historical west side, but when I go over there, I still don't see anything. But I think it's all in the work. We just have to stay here and see what will be done. But no matter what they'll put on there, I think it'll be successful.
State gaming laws mandate a minimum of 8 hours of gaming operations every 2 years for a property to maintain its gaming license. So there has been a temporary 8-hour casino on the property every 2 years. The last trailer full of slot machines was on May 14th, 2024. So the 6-acre Moulin Rouge parcel of land comes with a non-restricted gaming license, which means a new casino can have an unlimited amount of slot machines and table games. Restricted gaming licenses can only have up to 15 slot machines and no table games, like restaurants, bars, and grocery stores. The other parcels of land are also available for development, which includes the land where the hotel rooms were located.
So today, where the Moulin Rouge stood is now a vacant lot.
I feel that those grounds are sacred. That I can pick up the sidewalk there is nightmarishly depressing. They're important from an ancestral standpoint. They're important from a socio-political standpoint. They're important from a historical view. The reason the Moulin Rouge is so celebrated is because it filled a major hole in the city and the culture's needs, because the culture was corrupt, because the culture was wrong, because the city was wrong, not because the Moulin Rouge was anything special. It shouldn't have been anything special. It should have been what everybody was able to do from the get-go.